In the vast darkness of space, the alien mothership drifted silently. Its metal hull reflected faint starlight, casting long shadows across the vast corridors inside. The ship was enormous, far larger than anything humans had ever built, though none of the aliens knew that humans even existed yet. Inside, the crew moved efficiently, their movements precise and calm. Every alien knew its place. Every system hummed with activity. Commander Xyler stood on the bridge, his 4 eyes scanning the main view screen. He was a tall, lean alien with scales that shimmered blue under the dim light. His hands moved over the console, adjusting sensors and monitoring distant star systems. The mothership sensors were highly advanced, capable of detecting even the smallest object across light years. Yet, despite all their technology, Xyler felt uneasy. "Commander," said Lieutenant Vorn, his voice a low rumble. "Our sensors are picking up something unusual in Sector 9. Xyler frowned. "Describe it." Vorn's clawed hand hovered over the console. "It is hard to explain. A single object. But its energy readings are different, strong, unfamiliar. It does not match any known species or ship class in the galactic registry." Xyler leaned closer, his multiple eyes narrowing. Could it be a rogue asteroid or a natural anomaly? Vorn shook his head. "No, sir. It is moving. Purposefully. And it emits a faint signal. We cannot decode it yet." The commander's heart, or what was closest to a heart, pounded. An unknown moving object in deep space could mean trouble. The galaxy was vast, but not empty. Most species preferred to avoid conflict unless they were sure they could win. But the humans, Xyler had only heard myths whispered among the oldest aliens, were said to be different, dangerous, unpredictable. "Alert the Council," Xyler said. His voice carried authority. "I want every sensor active. I want shields ready. And I want a full scan of this object. Whatever it is, we cannot ignore it." The crew hurried to obey. Red lights flashed across the bridge as sensors recalibrated. Data streams flowed across screens, filling the room with information. The object remained distant, small and almost invisible against the backdrop of stars, yet the readings grew stronger. Minutes passed, or perhaps hours. Time felt different in the emptiness of space. Then the signal came through clearly for the first time. It was short, simple. A series of pulses that made the crew tense with fear and curiosity. Xyler analyzed it, but his computers could not fully decode the message. It was too advanced, too precise, too a human. Vorn leaned over the console, eyes wide. "Commander, it is addressing us. Directly. But I cannot understand the language. The pattern, it is unlike anything in our database." Xyler's mind raced. Every alien on the bridge felt it, the first stirrings of fear. They had faced warships before, enemy fleets that outnumbered them, and civilizations that were ruthless and cunning. But this was different. They could feel the intelligence behind it. They could feel the precision. They could feel something almost human. "Show the message on the main screen," Xyler ordered. The lights flickered as the console translated the signal into a visual pulse pattern. It was simple, minimal. Yet every alien in the room froze. Somehow, the message carried power. Authority. Presence. "We come in peace, or war," Vorn read aloud. A shiver ran through the bridge. Even the most seasoned warriors exchanged nervous glances. The humans, if that was what they were, did not ask for parley. They did not negotiate. They merely stated their intentions and left the choice to the aliens. "Prepare defensive protocols," Xyler said, his voice steady, though his mind raced. "Power shields to maximum. Arm all non-lethal deterrents. And continue scanning. I want to know what we are dealing with before it reaches us." The crew obeyed. Lights blinked faster. Systems whirred. The mothership seemed alive, tense, as if it too could sense the threat approaching. Vorn's claws hovered over the console. Commander, the object is accelerating. Its velocity is increasing rapidly. It is closing the distance faster than our calculations predicted. Xyler's multiple eyes widened. Faster than anything in our fleet can travel? Yes, sir. Faster than any engine we know. A low murmur filled the bridge. The aliens began to whisper among themselves. Some speculated it could be a new experimental weapon. Others feared it might be a scout for an enemy civilization. But no one said the name out loud, the one that haunted every alien who had ever heard the old stories. Humans, one whispered. Xyler felt the weight of their fear. He had heard legends too, passed down through generations. Humans were said to be small, fragile creatures compared to the giants of the galaxy. But when it came to war, they were unstoppable. Their technology, their cunning, their ability to adapt, it was unmatched. And they were few in number. The bridge fell silent, everyone watching the distant blip grow brighter on the sensors. Xyler felt a knot tighten in his chest. He had faced enemy fleets before. He had commanded battles that left entire planets scarred. But this was different. Then the unexpected happened. The signal pulsed again. But this time, it was not words. It was a pattern, a rhythm, a beat. The entire mothership seemed to vibrate as the signal passed through their systems. Every screen flickered. Every sensor trembled. It was subtle, almost artistic, yet precise. "Commander," Vorn said, his voice trembling slightly. "It is scanning us. Our ship. Our systems. It knows our energy patterns. Our shield strength. Our weapon output. It is learning." Xyler swallowed hard. Learning. How can it learn so quickly? Vorn shook his head. It is human. That is all I can say. They adapt faster than we do. Smarter than we think. Dangerous beyond imagination. The aliens exchanged fearful glances. Panic began to creep in. A few junior officers whispered about fleeing. Others suggested sending a warning to nearby colonies. But Xyler raised his hand. "No," he said firmly. "Do not panic. We face an unknown threat. And panic will kill us faster than any human weapon. We observe. We analyze. We prepare. That is all we can do." For the next several minutes, the humans, if that was what they were, continued their silent approach. The signal pulsed again. This time, Xyler noticed a pattern almost too subtle to see. It was almost playful, almost teasing. Yet every pulse carried power, information, and confidence. The aliens felt it instinctively. The humans were not afraid. They did not hesitate. They moved with purpose, with strategy, with certainty. And that certainty terrified every alien on the bridge. Suddenly, the ship trembled. A minor system alert lit up the main console. The humans had done something. Something small, but unmistakable. A single energy pulse hit the outer shield of the mothership, not enough to damage it, but enough to send a clear message. Vorn's eyes widened. "Commander, they touched us. They tested our shields. And they were accurate. Perfectly." Xyler stared at the screens. He knew, in that moment, that the legends were true. Humans were not just another species. They were something beyond comprehension. A force that could not be ignored, underestimated, or bargained with easily. The tension on the bridge was almost unbearable. The crew moved like shadows, silent but alert. Every alien instinct screamed danger. Every calculation suggested extreme caution. And yet, none of them could predict what the humans would do next. Minutes stretched into hours. The signal continued. The object moved closer. Every second increased the suspense. Xyler knew one thing for certain: the next encounter would decide their fate. And then, as if on cue, the humans did something unexpected. The signal changed. A new pattern appeared, faster, more complex. It was a challenge, a question, a riddle in pure energy. The aliens stared, unable to decode it fully. But they felt it. The humans were saying something simple, yet terrifyingly powerful. Your move. Xyler took a deep breath. His hands hovered over the console. The fate of the mothership, his crew, and perhaps their entire species rested on the choices he would make in the next few moments. Every eye in the bridge turned to him. Silence filled the room, broken only by the hum of the ship's engines and the distant stars outside. For the first time in his life, Commander Xyler felt fear. Real fear. Not the fear of losing a battle, but the fear of facing a species that did not behave like any other in the galaxy. A species that could strike without warning, that could adapt instantly, that could outthink the best minds in the universe. And in that moment, one thought burned in his mind, louder than any alarm or sensor reading: humans were coming. The mothership held its breath. The galaxy held its breath. And the humans waited. The alien mothership drifted silently, its massive form cutting a shadow across the stars. Commander Xyler remained on the bridge, his multiple eyes scanning the distant blip on the sensors. The humans were closer now. Every reading confirmed it. The object was no ordinary ship. Its movements were precise, almost fluid, defying known physics. Lieutenant Vorn was at the console, his claws moving over the controls with nervous energy. Commander, the object is moving again. Its velocity is inconsistent. Sometimes it slows, sometimes it accelerates. And the signal, it has changed again. Xyler leaned forward, trying to comprehend the new pattern. The signal was unlike anything their systems had ever encountered. It pulsed in a rhythm that seemed almost alive, almost intelligent. Show me. The signal flashed across the main screen. It was not words this time, not even a simple pattern. It was more complicated, like a living code. The lights flickered as the mothership sensors struggled to interpret it. Every alien on the bridge felt a strange sensation, a mixture of curiosity, awe, and fear. Commander. Vorn's voice was almost a whisper. It is human. I am certain of it now. Whatever this species is, it is what the legends say. They are different, dangerous. Xyler's mind raced. The humans, if they were indeed humans, were not just unknown, they were unpredictable. Their movements, their signals, everything about them suggested intelligence far beyond anything the aliens had faced. He remembered the old stories whispered by the elders. Humans were small, fragile creatures, but in war, they were unstoppable. And they were clever. Incredibly clever. Suddenly, the humans made their first visible move. A faint shimmer appeared in space, a distortion that rippled outward. The mothership's shields reacted immediately, absorbing the energy before it could touch the hull. But the crew froze. Every alien felt the weight of the action. They touched us, whispered a junior officer. But they did not attack. Xyler's multiple eyes scanned the area. No, this is a test. They are measuring our response. Observing us. The crew exchanged nervous glances. None of them had ever faced an enemy that acted with such restraint yet such precision. Most alien species, when approaching, would strike immediately, hoping to overwhelm. But the humans, they did not. They studied. They analyzed. They waited. Vorn's claws hovered over the console. Commander, our sensors cannot keep up. Their energy signature is impossible. It changes constantly. Our calculations fail. Xyler felt a cold knot tighten in his chest. If the humans were testing them now, what would they do when they decided it was time to attack? Or worse, when they decided it was time to leave? The mothership's communication array buzzed. The humans had sent another signal. This time, it was a series of pulses that formed a pattern almost like a heartbeat. The aliens stared at it, unable to comprehend its meaning fully. It was simple, yet it carried power. Authority. Confidence. It says something, Vorn muttered. Something we cannot understand. But I feel it. They are aware of us. They know we are watching. Xyler nodded. He had felt it too. Every instinct screamed danger. The humans were here, and they were not ordinary. They were predators, studying their prey. And the aliens were the prey. Hours passed, or what felt like hours. Time seemed to stretch in the emptiness of space. The humans remained distant, yet their presence was overwhelming. Sensors tried to predict their movements, but each calculation failed. Each prediction was slightly wrong. Always wrong. Then, suddenly, a new reading appeared. A small, almost invisible shape emerged from the shadows of space. It moved quickly, darting between the stars like a fish in water. The aliens could not track it properly. Every attempt to lock onto it failed. They are cloaked, said Vorn. Somehow, they are invisible to our systems. Xyler frowned. Cloaking technology was known in the galaxy, but nothing like this. The humans were not only invisible, they were untouchable, untargetable, almost unreal. The small shape moved closer to the mothership, disappearing and reappearing in impossible maneuvers. The crew held their breath. Every pulse from the human ship seemed deliberate, precise, a message in motion. It was as if the humans were dancing around them, testing every system, learning every weakness. "Commander," Vorn said, his voice tense. I do not understand. They are moving without touching our shields. They are impossible. Xyler's scales shimmered under the bridge lights. We face a species that does not behave according to known rules. We cannot predict them. We cannot fight them the way we fight others. Our only option is caution. A junior officer spoke up, his voice trembling. "Sir, should we fire? At least a warning shot." Xyler shook his head. "No. That is exactly what they want us to do. They are observing, learning. If we fire recklessly, we play into their hands. Watch. Study. Wait. That is all we can do." The humans made their next move. A soft pulse of energy radiated from the distant ship, harmless to the mothership but strong enough to make every sensor twitch. It was a message, clear and undeniable. "We are here, we see you, and we are not afraid." The bridge fell silent. Even the junior officers, normally chatty, held their breath. The aliens had never faced such a presence. Never felt such control. The humans were small, but they carried power beyond understanding. Vorn's claws tapped nervously on the console. "Commander, they are toying with us. They are showing us their power without using it. They are waiting for something." Xyler's eyes narrowed. "Yes, and that waiting is the most dangerous part. We do not know their limits. We do not know their intentions. And we cannot guess their next move." The humans continued their approach. The distant blip on the sensors grew brighter, larger. Every alien on the bridge felt a mix of fear and awe. They could see the outline of the ship now. Long, sleek, unlike anything in the galaxy. Its hull shimmered with a strange light, almost as if it was alive. "They are beautiful," whispered an officer. "But deadly." Vorn nodded. "Commander, should we attempt communication again?" Xyler considered. Any attempt to communicate was risky. They had already received the human signal, yet they could not understand it fully. Any wrong move could provoke a response they could not survive. "No," Xyler said finally. "We observe. We prepare. That is all we can do. Any action now is dangerous." The humans made their next move, and this time it was impossible to ignore. A pulse of energy struck the outer shield, not harmful, but precise, deliberate. It was like a master tapping a piano key, testing every string, every note. The aliens felt it in their bones. "They are not just testing us," Vorn said softly. "They are learning us, studying our reactions, every twitch of our sensors, every shield fluctuation, every move we make. Xyler's heart, or what passed for one, pounded. He realized something terrifying. The humans were not just powerful. They were intelligent beyond measure. Strategic. Calculating. Observing. And unlike any enemy he had faced, they did not show fear, hesitation, or weakness. The bridge grew tense. The crew moved with silent efficiency, every alien aware that the humans could see everything. Every thought, every action, every decision was under scrutiny. The humans were a shadow, a presence that could strike anywhere, anytime. Hours passed. The humans stayed distant but close enough to influence every system on the mothership. The pulse of their energy was rhythmic, constant, a silent drumbeat of intelligence and power. The aliens could not ignore it, could not escape it, could not fight it yet. They could only watch. Xyler looked at the crew. He saw fear in their eyes, but also determination. They would survive, he hoped. They had to. But the humans were unlike anything they had imagined. Small, fragile, deadly, and always watching. Then the humans did something unexpected. The signal changed again. It was faster now, more complex, almost playful. It was as if the humans were teasing the aliens, showing them power without using it, demonstrating skill without violence. Vorn leaned forward. "Commander, it is a challenge. They are asking us to respond, to make a move. But any move we make could be our last." Xyler nodded slowly. "Yes. And that is why we must wait. Observe. Learn. Survive. That is all we can do for now." The mothership drifted through the void, every alien on the bridge tense, aware of the shadow approaching. The humans moved with precision, intelligence, and power beyond understanding. And in that moment, Xyler knew one thing for certain. The galaxy had changed. Humans were here. And their shadow would follow. The alien mothership floated in the void, tense and silent. The crew remained alert, their senses straining against the unknown threat that lurked nearby. Commander Xyler stood on the bridge, eyes scanning the sensors, every pulse and energy reading etched into his memory. The humans had remained distant, observing, testing, but now their intentions were becoming clearer. Lieutenant Vorn's claws moved rapidly over the console. "Commander, they are closer. Much closer. Our shields are reading energy fluctuations we cannot identify. It is precise, controlled, like a scalpel." Xyler's multiple eyes narrowed. "Show me the readings." The main screen displayed a series of faint energy pulses that darted around the mothership. Every movement of the human ship was deliberate, almost elegant. The aliens stared, unable to comprehend the patterns. The humans were not attacking, yet their presence was a threat in itself. "They are measuring us," Vorn said softly. "Our shields, our energy output, even our engines. Every system. They know exactly what we have and how it works." Xyler turned, addressing the bridge crew. "This is not an attack, yet. But it is a test. Prepare our defenses. Maximum shield capacity. Weapons on standby, non-lethal for now. We do not know what they are capable of. They may strike if we make a mistake." The crew moved quickly. Red lights flashed across the bridge as energy shields hummed to life. All weapon systems calibrated, but none fired. Every alien knew that even a single misstep could provoke a response they could not survive. Then the humans made their first move in this new phase. A soft pulse of energy struck the outer shield, harmless but precise. Every system reacted instantly, confirming the accuracy of the humans' targeting. The pulse did not damage the ship, but it sent a message: "We can hit you whenever we want." Vorn leaned over the console, his voice low. "Commander, they tested us. Not to destroy, but to demonstrate capability. They are perfect in precision. This is unlike anything we have faced." Xyler nodded slowly. "Yes. And that is the danger. They do not attack recklessly. They attack with knowledge, with strategy. And their knowledge grows with every second we react. The humans continued their silent approach. The blip on the sensors grew larger, more distinct, yet it still moved with impossible agility. Every attempt to track them failed. Their ship seemed to appear and disappear at will, defying known physics, slipping past shields and sensors as though space itself obeyed them. "They are unreal," whispered a junior officer. "They move like ghosts." Vorn's claws tapped nervously. "Commander, their energy signature is changing. Adapting. Our predictions are wrong every time. They are learning faster than we can think." Zyler's scales shimmered under the bridge lights. "Yes. And that is why we must be careful. Every reaction we make feeds their knowledge. Every defensive maneuver teaches them our weaknesses. This is a game of patience. We cannot rush." Suddenly, the humans performed something unexpected. A small object, almost invisible, shot out from their ship. It moved like a needle, passing through the void and striking the mothership's shields. Again, no damage, but the precision was terrifying. Every system, every sensor reacted in perfect sync, as though the human had anticipated their actions before they happened. They predicted us," Vorn said, voice trembling. "Before we even moved, they knew where we would react. How is this possible?" Zyler's multiple eyes narrowed. "It is what I feared. Humans do not just fight. They calculate, anticipate, and control. We cannot surprise them. We cannot outthink them. We can only survive and hope they choose to leave us alive." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Panic began to creep into the corridors, but Zyler's voice cut through the tension. "Focus. We are alive. We are prepared. That is enough for now. Watch. Wait. Survive." The humans intensified their test. A wave of energy, barely perceptible, passed over the mothership. It scanned every system, analyzed every shield modulation, measured every pulse of energy. It was subtle, almost artistic, yet deadly precise. Vorn's eyes widened. "Commander, they are probing us. Learning how to break our shields without even touching them. If they wanted to attack, we would not stand a chance." Zyler's heart, or what passed for one, pounded. The legends were true. Humans were not just physically advanced. Their minds were weapons. Strategy, intelligence, anticipation, these were their tools, and they wielded them with unmatched skill. "Commander," a junior officer whispered, "should we attempt a countermeasure? Something to test their defenses?" Zyler shook his head. "No. That is exactly what they want. Any counterattack would reveal our patterns, our reactions. They are studying us. We respond only when necessary. Observation is our only weapon." 4 hours, the humans continued their silent test. Every pulse, every movement, every signal was calculated. The aliens could feel it in their bones. This was a species that did not rush, did not hesitate, did not make mistakes. Then, the humans struck again, subtly but clearly. A pulse of energy hit a minor shield generator. It was enough to trigger an alert but caused no real damage. Yet the message was undeniable: we can strike. We choose not to, for now. Vorn's voice shook. "Commander, they are teasing us. They are showing strength without using it. And we cannot respond." Zyler's scales bristled. "Exactly. That is the danger. They control the battle without even engaging it. We are under their command simply by existing in their presence." The crew worked silently, tension rising with each passing moment. The humans continued their tests, small movements, energy pulses, almost imperceptible. Yet every action taught them more about the mothership, its shields, its weaknesses, and the aliens themselves. Minutes felt like hours. The humans seemed to move in and out of visibility, appearing where none of their sensors could track them. It was as if they existed outside the rules of space itself, slipping past the laws that govern the galaxy. They are not bound by our physics, Vorn muttered. Every attempt to predict them fails. They are perfect. Xyler nodded. Yes. And that is why we survive by caution alone. Any aggression, any misstep, could be fatal. Watch. Wait. Survive. That is our only choice. The humans performed one final, almost poetic act in this phase of the test. A precise beam of energy struck the shields and stopped just short of causing damage. The pulse measured every shield module, every energy channel, every weak point. It was deliberate, elegant, and terrifying. Vorn whispered, almost in awe. Commander, they are artists. They strike without striking, control without controlling, and dominate without attacking. How can a species be so perfect? Xyler's voice was steady but heavy. It is the truth. Humans are not merely a species. They are intelligence, strategy, and precision incarnate. They are the ultimate test of everything we know about war. The crew absorbed the weight of his words. The humans were small, fragile, yet in every pulse, every movement, they demonstrated mastery. They were not just a threat, they were beyond comparison. Hours later, the humans paused their approach, hovering at a safe distance. Their signal pulsed one final time, almost like a heartbeat, a silent declaration. We could strike. We could destroy. We choose not to, for now. Vorn exhaled slowly. Commander, they could have destroyed us at any moment. And yet, they didn't. Xyler nodded. Yes. They are testing us, learning us, shaping us, and perhaps, in some way, teaching us. But we must remember, they are dangerous, unpredictable, perfect, and we are at their mercy if we make a mistake. The mothership drifted silently. Every alien on the bridge remained tense, alert, and aware. They had faced enemies before. They had survived battles that left worlds in ruin. But never had they faced a species like this. The humans had shown strength, intelligence, and precision beyond imagination. They had struck without striking, learned without revealing, controlled without moving. And the aliens knew one thing with certainty. The test was over for now. But the humans were still out there. Watching, waiting, and preparing. The shadow of humanity had arrived in the galaxy. And the aliens could feel it, deep in their scales, in their claws, and in their hearts. Nothing would ever be the same again. The alien mothership drifted silently through the black void of space, its massive hull reflecting distant starlight. The crew moved with tense efficiency, every claw, scale, and sensor alert. Commander Xyler stood at the center of the bridge, eyes fixed on the distant blip that represented the human warship. The humans were close now. Too close. And yet, they had not attacked. Lieutenant Vorn's claws tapped nervously against the console. Commander, their movements are unsettling. They are everywhere and nowhere at the same time. We cannot predict them. Xyler nodded slowly, his multiple eyes scanning every reading. Yes, that is the danger. They do not behave like any species we know. We cannot fight them the way we fight others. Our weapons may be strong, but against them, strength alone is meaningless. The humans had changed their strategy. Their ship no longer moved with the same rapid pulses that had so unnerved the aliens before. Instead, it hovered just beyond the range of easy tracking, its energy signature pulsing in subtle, rhythmic patterns. It was a game of patience, and the humans were in control. They are testing us psychologically now, Vorn said. Every pulse, every movement, every energy wave is meant to provoke a reaction. They want us to make a mistake. Xyler's scales shimmered under the dim bridge lights. Yes, they are teaching us, or perhaps, punishing us for ignorance. Either way, we cannot react impulsively. We must remain calm. 4 hours, the humans played their silent game. The mothership's sensors twitched constantly, trying to track impossible movements. Every time the aliens thought they had locked onto the human ship, it vanished, only to reappear somewhere else. Their cloaking and movement techniques defied the laws of physics as the aliens understood them. A junior officer whispered from the side of the bridge. "Commander, why are they not attacking? Why wait? If they wanted to, they could destroy us in seconds." Zyler's multiple eyes narrowed. "Because this is the test. Humans do not act without reason. They do not attack recklessly. They measure, they study, they anticipate. This is not war in the way we know it. It is a battle of minds." Vorn leaned closer to his console. "Commander, the signals. They are messages. Not words, not language we understand, but thoughts. Patterns that reflect intention, calculation, prediction. They are telling us something, but we cannot read it." Zyler exhaled slowly. "Yes. And that is the danger. They are communicating beyond our understanding. Their minds are weapons. Their strategy is invisible, intangible, yet undeniable. Every second we react feeds their knowledge. Every decision reveals more about us." The humans made their next move, subtle but terrifying. A thin beam of energy traced along the outer shield, harmless, yet precise. It measured every fluctuation, every weakness, every response. The aliens froze, feeling the invisible pressure. The humans were not striking, they were teaching the aliens their place, silently, with elegance and precision. Vorn's voice shook. "Commander, they are predicting our actions. Every adjustment we make, they know before we act. They are perfect." Zyler's gaze hardened. "Yes. And that perfection terrifies us because it is unyielding. Strength alone will not save us. Strategy alone will not save us. Only patience, observation, and restraint." The bridge was tense, silent except for the hum of the mothership's engines and the faint pulses of the human signal. Every alien felt the weight of the human's presence. It was not just fear. It was awe, respect, and an understanding that the galaxy had changed forever. Suddenly, the humans performed a move that stunned the crew. Their ship accelerated briefly, appearing directly in front of the mothership, close enough that the aliens could almost see the surface. And yet, there was no threat, no attack, only a silent message of dominance. "They are showing us they can be anywhere," whispered a junior officer. "Anywhere we are. Anywhere we hide. And yet, they choose not to strike." Vorn's claws drummed nervously. "Commander, this is psychological warfare. They are testing our patience, our reactions, our discipline. If we panic, if we make a misstep, they will win before we even fight." Zyler nodded. "Exactly. This is a war of minds, not of weapons. And in this war, they are masters." For hours, the humans continued their silent maneuvers. They darted in impossible directions, their energy pulses scanning every system. Every movement was deliberate, almost playful, yet deadly precise. The aliens could not predict, could not anticipate, could not escape. Vorn muttered under his breath. "It is maddening. Every time we think we understand, they change. They adapt instantly. They learn faster than we can think." Zyler's voice was calm but firm. "Yes. And that is why we must wait. Any reaction could be fatal. Any decision without thought is dangerous. Patience, observation, restraint. That is our only strategy." The human signals intensified, faster now, almost like a heartbeat, a rhythm that seemed alive. The aliens felt it in their claws, their scales, their senses. The humans were communicating silently, perfectly, without words. Their presence alone conveyed intelligence, power, and dominance. "They are not like any enemy we faced," Vorn said. "Not just strong, not just fast, but perfect. They can see, predict, and control without moving." Zyler nodded slowly. "Yes. And that perfection terrifies us because it is absolute. We cannot fight it with force. We cannot outmaneuver it with speed. Only caution, patience, and observation will keep us alive. Then the humans did something unexpected. A small drone, almost invisible, detached from the main ship and circled the mothership. It moved with impossible precision, measuring, recording, observing. The aliens could do nothing but watch. "They are probing us, learning us," whispered Vorn. "Every shield modulation, every system adjustment, it is being catalogued. They are perfect observers." Xyler's multiple eyes glimmered. "Yes. And that observation is a weapon in itself. They control the battle without touching us. They dominate without striking. And that terrifies me more than any weapon could." The humans continued their silent game. Every movement, every pulse, every signal was calculated. The aliens could feel the invisible pressure. A species that could strike at any moment, a species that could destroy with precision beyond understanding, a species that could control the battlefield without ever firing a shot. Hours passed. The mothership remained tense, the crew alert. The humans hovered just beyond reach, their signals pulsating like a heartbeat. Every alien felt it. This was a species that had mastered the mind, the strategy, the invisible art of war. Then, the humans made their final move for this phase. A pulse of energy, perfectly timed and placed, measured the entire mothership's defensive systems in an instant. It was harmless, yet terrifying in its precision. The message was clear: "We understand you completely. We can strike any time. We choose not to, for now." Vorn exhaled slowly. "Commander, they could have destroyed us in a heartbeat. And yet, they didn't." Xyler's scales shimmered in the dim lights. "Yes. That is the lesson. They do not need to strike. They dominate through understanding, through intelligence, through control. Strength, speed, weapons. None of it matters when faced with such mastery." The bridge fell silent. The humans had demonstrated their power without aggression, their dominance without violence. They were beyond comprehension, beyond fear, beyond prediction. And yet, they had not attacked. The mothership drifted through the void, tense and silent. Every alien felt the invisible presence of the humans, a shadow that weighed on their minds, their senses, their very instincts. They had faced powerful enemies before. They had survived battles that destroyed entire worlds. But never had they faced a species like this. The humans had turned the battlefield into a game of the mind, a test of patience, strategy, and observation. And the aliens knew one thing with certainty. They were not ready to fight humans. They were not ready for what was coming. And the humans were waiting. The alien mothership drifted silently through the black emptiness of space. Commander Xyler stood at the bridge, his multiple eyes fixed on the distant blip that had haunted them for days. The humans were close now. Too close to ignore. And unlike before, there was no hesitation in their approach. Lieutenant Vorn tapped the console nervously. "Commander, they are moving deliberately now. No sudden pulses, no cloaking. They are approaching us openly." Xyler's scales shimmered in the dim light. "Yes. They are ready to reveal themselves. And we are not prepared." The crew held their breath. The humans had tested them for hours, probed their systems, and demonstrated their power without attacking. But now, it was different. The humans wanted more than a test. They wanted a declaration. The mothership sensors strained to read the approaching ship. Its size, shape, and energy signature were unlike anything in the galactic registry. Sleek, angular, and almost alive, the human warship moved with absolute precision. Its surface reflected starlight in strange, subtle patterns, almost like armor that could think. "They are magnificent," whispered a junior officer. "But deadly." Xyler nodded slowly. "Yes. And that is the danger. They are small, fragile in appearance, but everything about them speaks of intelligence, strategy, and power beyond imagination." The humans stopped at a safe distance, hovering silently. Their signal pulsed once, slowly, like a heartbeat. The message was clear: "We are here. We could strike, but we choose not to, yet. Vorn's claws trembled. Commander, what do we do? Should we respond? Xyler shook his head. No. We observe. We learn. Any wrong move could provoke them. Remember, they have tested us, studied us, and know our every reaction. We cannot underestimate them. For minutes, the mothership remained silent, tense. Every alien felt the weight of the humans' presence, an invisible pressure pressing on their minds. The humans were small, yes, but every movement, every pulse, every silent signal radiated power. Intelligence. Control.